So most of the important points in variables has been covered, guys. I have covered the important points, but this is very important topic, guys. So for hands-on experience, please develop 5 to 10 programs by yourself, guys. Then you will become hands-on and expert on that, guys. So now coming to one of the most important topic, guys, in Java, variable versus identifier, guys. We should know that what is variable and what is identifier. Both looks similar only, but they have some basic difference, guys. So coming to identifier, so variable and identifiers are related to, but they are not the same thing. An identifier is a name given to a program element. They don't have data types and they cannot store whole data like variables. Variables are also like an identifier, but they have data types and values like class name, interface name, method name, variable name, etc., guys. So all these are the identifier, guys. But if we talk about the variable, so variables are defined or created with help of data types, so to store some data. Variables are like containers that store some data, guys. So this is the main difference in variable and identifier. You should know this basic thing, guys. If we talk about variables, variables are defined or created with help of data types to store some data, and variables are like containers that store some data, guys. So these are the examples of variables. So this was the basic difference in identifier and variable, which is very important to know, guys. So now coming to the next topic, guys, typecasting in Java. Typecasting is very important topic in Java, guys, and this is very frequently asked in interview or any online coding test. You will definitely get many questions on that, guys. So what is typecasting? Typecasting means converting a value or data from one data type to another data type, like converting an int value into a long value, guys. So what are the types of typecasting, guys? There are two types of data typecasting that happens in Java: implicit typecasting and explicit typecasting. They are also called widening and narrowing. They have same name, widening as narrowing, as well as implicit typecasting and explicit typecasting. So here is the summary of what is the difference between widening and narrowing, or implicit typecasting and explicit typecasting, guys. So implicit automatically from smaller to larger it happens, but explicit narrowing we have to manually do from larger to smaller data types, guys. So if we talk in brief, what is widening? Converting a smaller data type to larger compatible data type is called widening casting, guys. And it JVM performs widening automatically. So implicit casting is not required to do manually, and no data loss happens in widening, guys. Here is the example. Suppose int a 100, double b equal to a. This is the important line, guys, and we are printing b. It will print 100 like without any problem, without any issue, because integer is a small size and double is the long size. So storing in double int, there will be not an issue, guys, and automatically it will store. So widening order is byte sort. Widening order is byte sort int long float double, guys. Now coming to narrowing, guys, this is very important, guys. Explicit typecasting. Converting larger data type to a smaller compatible data type is called narrowing data type typecasting. JVM cannot perform narrowing automatically, so explicit casting is required to do manually, and there are chances of minor data loss in narrowing process or narrowing casting, guys. So here is the example. like double A equal to 100.99, int B equal to int A. So here we are doing narrowing, guys. We are converting from double to integer, and now we are printing this. So it will print 100, and this but 0.99 will loss, guys. So here we need to int explicitly and manually tells JVM to convert the double into int. Automatically this will not come. You have to manually provide this, guys. So important thing we should know, the decimal part 0.99 is lost in the conversion. Only 100 remains after narrowing, guys. So here are some homework on that. This is an important topic in Java coding, guys. For hands-on experience, please develop at least 5 programs yourself regarding this, guys. Now object or reference typecasting, guys. Typecasting also applies to objects in inheritance way. Upcasting automatically happens via JVM. So like we do from child to parent casting. This is the example, guys. If we have one animal class and one subclass dog, so like this we will do upcast. But if we talk about downcasting, guys, downcasting requires an explicit manual casting, guys. So suppose we are typecasting from parent to child. In that case, we will give this line is important, guys. Dog D equal to, we will give in the type conversion in dog to A, and A is the reference of animal, guys. So downcasting requires an explicit casting, guys. Here this is the simple definition. Typecasting is the process of converting a value or object reference from one data type to another compatible data type, guys. So let's coming to the code, guys. I have implemented some code on this, so I will show you. I have written a casting class. In that I have done different type of typecasting, like widening I have done. See, this is a simple way, and narrowing I have done this double D and int C, and like that I have done object typecasting, guys. See, this is the object typecasting, upcasting, and this is the downcasting or narrowing. This is very important, guys. In this we have to give two class, one class animal superclass, and subclass dog extends animal. So I have implemented this. Let's we will execute this logic, guys. See, after executing, this is printing 100.0 because it's integer converted into double, and this is from in narrowing from double to integer. Now it's printing 100, guys. So this was the example of widening and narrowing typecasting, or implicit typecasting or explicit typecasting, guys. So hope this logic is clear, guys. Let's coming to the next topic, guys. So this topic is very important in Java, guys. Operators in Java. Because whenever we perform any operation in Java, like any method operation or any block operation, any function, so operators are required, guys. So this is very important. So in Java, operators are special symbols that perform operations on variables and values. They are grouped into 9 categories. So guys, this is important topic. So here also we have to perform many 5 to 10 labs or program for hands-on experience yourself, guys. But I will show some example. So here are the 9 categories of operators. First is the arithmetic operator. It performs mathematical calculations like a plus b. Unary operator is the operates on a single operand. This also like mathematical only, a plus plus increment or decrement operator. And assignment is just for assign the or update the value, like equal and plus equal minus equal. So sometime it assign, sometime it update and assign, guys. Like a plus equal to 10, it will update at 10 and then it will assign like that. Relational or comparison, this is like double equal and greater than or less than, greater than or equal to. All these are the, they compares two values and return true or false, guys. This is very important line, guys. A greater or equal to b, this will return true or false, guys. Now logical operator, logical is double and operator. This combine or negate boolean expression. It is used simple in double and, guys. Bitwise, bitwise the like and operator, so perform operations on individual bits, guys. Shift operator used for left shift and right shift of bit, binary shift, guys. Like ternary or conditional operator, this is short form of if else condition, guys. So if like condition is true, then print a, if condition is false, then print b. Instance of checks the object type of instance of the any object, guys. So these are the types of operators available in Java. So I will explain through the code, guys. This, let's go into IntelliJ, guys. So here I have implemented this class operators demo for all the operators, guys. So like arithmetic operators, I have implemented this logic like a plus b, a minus b, all the arithmetic operators. Unary operators, I have shown how to do plus minus x and plus minus increment decrement, all I have implemented. Boolean I have implemented, that true or false. Assignment operators I have implemented, this simple assignment example, guys, we should know. And relational operators I have implemented, this logical operators I have implemented. So please go through this line by line. This is very important program, guys, and try to execute this program, guys. Shift operator I have implemented, and ternary operator I have implemented. Instance of operator I have implemented. Object type casting cast operator. This actual type casting also is part of the operator only, guys. So string concatenation operator I have implemented, this how to add one string and integer like that. So let's running this program, guys. See all the operations, it is I am printing one by arithmetic operators output and all other operators, guys. So you can verify the output. Please implement this logic and run this complete program for better understanding, guys. Usually you should know the differences between different operators, guys. So operators are very important topics in Java, guys, especially, and we should know the main differences in the different operators. But when you will run the code, or when you will implement the code, you will develop some code, then only you will able to understand the code main difference between the operators, guys. So better you just implement this logic, and then you will know the proper differences on in all the operators. So this was the brief about all the operators. Please develop some more programs and code on that, so that you will be hands on the operators, guys, in each operators. So now coming to the next topic, guys, which is very important topic, scanner class in Java. So scanner class is very useful and very important class in Java, guys. So what is the scanner class? The scanner class in Java is used to take or read input data from different sources, most commonly input entered by the user through the keyword, guys. Scanner class belongs to java.util package, guys. So here is the, I have written the code. This is the code example of scanner class, guys. I will show you in the code also, in IntelliJ also. But before that, I would like to show you the what are the common scanner methods, guys. So here are the common standard scanner methods. There are total 10 plus methods in scanner class. This is next. So next line, next int, next long, next float, next double. These are reading different type of data, like read one word, this read entire line, next line, next int read integer value, read long value, read float value, read double value. Based on the data type, it will use the different scanner methods, guys. So I will show you the example. This is this another example for different types how scanner read from the console, guys. So I will show you in the code with proper example. See, guys, here I have implemented this scanner demo logic, scanner demo class. What happens whenever we define any variable, usually we initialize by ourselves, we give some value. But if suppose some value we don't want to give in the code directly, we want to give, the user will insert the value on the screen, and system will read from the input from the user, then it will process that data, guys. So that's why I have taken this string variable, but I have not initialized this. I will take from the console from the user, this detail, guys. So here I have for that we need to create the scanner object, scanner s equal to new scanner. After that we have to call this sc dot next line method, guys. This is very important line, and we have to here pass the system dot in. This is the main important method, guys. So let's see the output after running this, guys, and later it is just closing sc dot close for closing that scanner object, guys. See here, it is showing please enter your name here. So suppose I entered here Munna. Okay, so it is now it is taking the name and is printing hello Munna, welcome to Genius Developer. Automatically it is printing. I have not, see in the code I have never written name Munna here. I have not passed from the, it is taking from the console which the user is entering, guys. So this logic is very important. We have to understand how to take input or data from the user or from the console, guys. Any other input device. So hope this is clear, guys. I will show one more example for better understanding. Here all the multiple types of data I have shown in this program. See, I have taken scanner s equal to new scanner, then I am printing name sc dot next line, then I am printing age sc dot next int, like that. And so I have printed all the information. Let's I will run. Suppose for any, we have to print all the candidates information. So it is asking for enter your name. Let's I enter the name. Now it will ask enter your age. Suppose I enter 25. Okay, enter your salary. Suppose I entered something like 5 lakhs. Suppose are you employed? So we have to enter true because they have given the boolean type there, guys. So see, now after entering it will give the result, the basic candidate basic information, This is the name, age, and all the details which you are the provided, guys. So how useful is the scanner class? You can see by this example, guys. Like this, there are a lot of real-time applications which uses a scanner class to read the inputs from the user, guys. So this is the complete implementation of different types of data through scanner, guys. You try to implement and try to run, then you will be understand in a better way, guys. Okay, so coming to next topic, guys. So this topic is very important, and we can say this is the most important topic for in understanding the Java code in a better way and become a good developer or good engineer. This is the very important topic. You have to be hands on this topic, guys. So conditional statements. What are the conditional statements? Conditional statements in Java are used to make decisions in a program. They execute different blocks of code depending on whether a condition is true or false. There are different types of conditional statement, guys. So usually there are 6 type of conditional statement. See, total 6 type of conditional statements. So if is there, so if execute code when a condition is true. So this is a short brief description and detail some brief example, guys. You can look all this. I will explain you in detail, guys. So if we talk simple definition, so conditional statements allow a Java program to make decisions and execute different code based on the conditions. So main decision making constructs in Java like if else, if, nested if, and switch statement, guys. So let's coming to one by one, guys. It's coming to if statement, guys. It is used when you want to execute code only when a condition is true. Suppose only one condition is true, then you have to execute the code. This is the example, guys. Like int age equal to 20, and if age is greater or equal to 18, then eligible to vote. This is the simple example. And now coming to if else, guys. If else statement, it is used when there are exactly 2 possible outcomes. So here int age equal to 16. So if age is greater or equal to 18, it is printing adult, else it is printing minor. So here are 2 checks it is doing. If it is true, it is printing if condition. If it is false, so it is printing else condition, guys. So in this, because age is 16, so it will go to else condition, guys. It will print minor, not adult. So now coming to if else statement, guys. It is used when there are 3 or more than 3 possible outcomes, and when you need to check multiple conditions. The conditions are checked from top to bottom. Once a condition is true, its block executes and the remaining conditions are skipped. So here is the example, guys. Very nice example. Suppose we have given marks 85. We will check if marks is greater than equal to 90, then it is print the grade A plus. If mark is greater or equal to 80, then it will print grade A. Else if marks greater or equal to 70, then it will print the grade B, and else it is print grade C, guys. So this is very nice example of this is very nice example of if else if, guys. So now coming to nested if, guys. An if statement inside another if statement is called nested if. An if statement inside another if statement is called nested if, guys. So if there are 2 if statement within one, then it is called nested if. Suppose int age equal to 25, boolean has license true, and it is printing, like it is checking the condition if age greater or equal to 18, if has license then he can drive. So two condition is checking, if greater or equal to 18 plus and it should have license, then he can drive, guys. So we are, this is called the nested if, guys. There are two if conditions continuous, so it can be more than two also sometime. Now coming to switch statement, guys. Switch is very important statement, guys. So switch is useful when you want to select an action based on the value of an expression. So suppose I'm giving int day equal to 2, switch we are passing the day, it is checking the case 1, case 2, case 3. So it will match the case day, case 2 here it will match, so it will print the Tuesday and it will break and it will come out the outside the statement, guys. So I will show you in the code, guys, this switch statement. So for interviews, this we should understand the difference in these three, guys. If else is condition based and switch is the primarily value and case based, guys. And ternary is the expression that produce a value, guys. This is the difference in both three. Sometime interviewer asks, guys. And really this is very important topic, so for hands-on experience please develop 5 to 10 programs yourself, guys. Now if we talk about modern Java switch expression, so here are the modern Java support the arrow style, guys, form. So like this, now switch above switch statement, now it can be written in this way using this case 1 arrow Monday, case 2 arrow Tuesday, like that, very in like more readable way, guys, can be written. Will print the result. Now coming to ternary operator, guys. Ternary operator is very important and very short way, guys. The ternary operator is compact way to write the simple if else. Usually this is the short way to writing if else condition. Even if else also is very small only, but they have given in just single line the if else condition. Suppose it is giving int age equal to 20, so string result equal to age greater or equal to 18. So it means if it is true then adult, if it is false then minor. So age if greater than 18 then it is adult, if age is less than 18 then it is minor. It will return any one result, guys, based on the condition. But here 18 age is the input, it is getting 20, so in this condition it is true, guys, so it will print the adult here. So equivalent if else for this, it is the like this if else condition, if age greater or equal to 18 result equal to adult, else result equal to minor. So this is the basic example, guys. So guys, I will show you with the code example in IntelliJ how to all the conditional statements are getting used. So I have implemented the conditional statements. Here see, I have taken this class conditionals demo and I have written all the like conditional statement, like if statement I have implemented, see this logic. Likewise I have implemented if else statement, see, likewise I have implemented this if else if ladder. If it is more than 3 condition then we have to go if else if. And I have implemented this nested if, guys, and I have implemented this switch statement, guys. Also I have implemented this ternary operator and I have implemented this modern switch expression, guys. So all the code I have implemented in this. Let's see after running the output, guys. See guys, the output, it is resulting all the like eligible for vote from if condition, else if number is even, and else if grade A, nested if can drive Wednesday switch. So very important, this is program, guys. Please note down and implement this logic, guys. So let's coming to the next topic, guys. So loop in Java, guys. So loops are also very important, of the most important topic in Java, guys. So what are loops? A loop in Java is used to execute a block of code repeatedly as long as a specific condition is satisfied, guys. So here are the types of loop, guys. So there are usually four types of loop: for loop, while loop, do while loop, and enhance for loop, guys. This is the syntax. For loop, it looks like this, and while loop is looks like this, and do while looks like this, and for is looks like this, guys. So here are the details, briefing detail about all the types of loops. When the number of iteration is known, when the number of iteration may not be known, this we should know the condition, guys. Like where we have to use for loop, where we have to use while loop, and do while when the code must execute at least once, and this when iterating through arrays or collection. Enhance for loop and for loop little similar, so we have to careful, but it is only for iterating the array or collections for enhance for loop, guys. So we'll see the example. For loop, it is used when you generally know how many times you want to execute the loop. Suppose this is for int I equal to 1, I less or equal to 5, I plus plus system dot out dot println I. It will print till I like 5. I value become 5, guys. See, this is the output. How the flow happens in for loop, guys? See, it will go first initialization. After that, it will check the condition. If it is true, then it will execute the next line, and it will update the condition. After completing the update the condition, then again it will check the condition. It will run until the condition is true. Whenever the condition is going false, then it will come to the block, like loop block. It will come outside the loop. So this flow you have to understand, guys. So guys, first initialization statement, it will execute only once, but this will execute multiple times, 5 or 6 times, and this will execute also 5 times, guys. These two statements. So this is the for loop. And while loop, the condition is checked before execution the loop body. So this will check the condition before executing this, guys, and after that it will increment. If the condition is false initially, the loop body execute 0 times. So now coming to do while loop, guys. The loop body executes at least once because the condition is checked after the body. So here is the example, guys. Just try to implement and run the code, and then you will understand this logic. Enhance for loop. So it is also called for each loop. Enhance for loop, also called known as for each loop, guys. It is commonly used to iterate through arrays and collections. So for faster iteration of arrays and collection, it is used. It will use the colon operator, guys. So using colon, it will just for int numbers array. This is the numbers array. It will take one number from the numbers array, guys, and it will print automatically. You don't have to write the for loop for every index. So this is the shortcut way of for loop, guys, we can say, but it can be used only for the collections and arrays, guys. Here number automatically receives each element from the array, guys. You can look on the differences, be carefully. You can look the differences very carefully, guys. So this is the simple definition. It is same like a loop is a control flow statement that repeatedly executes a block of code while a specified condition is satisfied. And main Java loops are for, while, do while, enhanced for loop, guys. Only 3 types of loop. So here is the important homework, guys. This is an important topic in Java coding. For hands-on experience, please develop at least 5 programs on this topic, guys. So let's coming to the code, guys. I will show you the code logic also. So here I have implemented the loops demo class, guys. I have implemented all the loops like for loop and while loop. See, this is the for loop. This is the for loop I have implemented, and this is I have implemented a while loop, guys. This is the while loop logic. You just write yourself and implement and check the output, guys. And this is the do while loop I have implemented, and this is the enhanced for loop. Enhanced for loop is very important, guys, for faster iteration of collections. And this is the nested for loop, guys. Like there are 2 if conditions, so this logic also very important. And this is the break statement. This is the break statement, guys. This is the continue statement logic, guys. Please execute all this code, guys, then only you will understand properly. So let's running this code, guys. See here the output of all the type of loops. For loop output, while loop output, and do while result, and enhanced for loop, and nested for loop, and break statement, continue statement. So all this. So here we have seen the continue and break also, but I have not discussed continue and break. So let's coming to that point, guys. Here are the loop control statements, guys. So Java also provides a statement that control the execution of the loops. So there are 3 loop control statements, like break is there, continue is there, and return is there. So break terminates the loop completely, and is continue skip current iteration, and return exit the current method itself. So guys, usually break and continue it use in the loop statements or conditional statements, but return also will use the controlling the loops only, guys. Controlling the loops, and return usually return completely from the method itself. If we use the return statement, it will completely return from the method. It's not only loop, it will return from the method itself. So that is little different concept than break and continue, guys. So this is very important to understand the difference between break, continue, and return. See here the example of break is there. So for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10. If I equal to 5, break. When I will become 5, it will break, it will come out of the loop, it will print I. Okay, it will not go to the till 10, guys. Till 5 only it will. See, when it's equal to 5, then only it will come print till 4, guys. Like this, that it continue. If we talk about the continue, see, for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, if I equal to 3, then continue. So see what it is printing, it will not print this 3, like it will skip 3, guys. I equal to 3, it means it will skip 3, it will go to 4 and 5. This is the skip type, we can say, guys. So this is very important to understand the difference. Return we will discuss later in method, guys. And return is very important for the loops and for the implementing method, guys. So this was the important points about the loops and control statements, guys. Hope it is got clear, guys. If you have any doubt, you can post me in comment, and also you run the code and program, then you will understand in a better way, guys.